Aloha again. Welcome back. My name is David. These are the Turtle Talks, a companion to my book, The Turtle Book, on Amazon. The last couple times we have talked about how important it is to understand how important the work is that you're doing, that you're talking about thinking outside of the box, outside of the way that not only everybody else thinks, but that you've sort of been trained to think. And even using Einstein as an example, we talked about some of the pitfalls potentially of how you interpret things based on whatever your point of view is, right? So, and that this idea of a point of view is fantastically important if you are a being of consciousness, and that getting the proper perspective on things really makes a huge difference, right? Getting, for example, if you are, as I mentioned a few episodes ago, just following the line of thinking of Pascal's wager, if you are an immortal soul that continues on from lifetime to lifetime, perhaps there is a theme behind that. Perhaps that is something that you can connect to and get the bigger picture to have a clearer understanding of the life you're living. There's a very famous Sufi story that talks about this, the 7 blind men who go up to touch the various parts of an elephant. One touches the ear, and one touches the tusk, and one touches the snout, and one touches the tail, right? One touches the leg. There's obviously, it's one thing. It is one creature. All of those things are explainable, but you need a certain perspective on it, and looking at little pieces of that can very much distort your understanding of the truth, right? So, well, before we go any further, let's just do a quick exercise to talk about this difference in perspective. So, close your eyes. Imagine the entire world around you as the inside of a balloon, and you are standing in the center. So you're in the center of a balloon. Everything you see in your world all around you is the inside of the balloon. And now, inside your mind, turn the balloon inside out. Okay, if you felt different or bigger after that experience, raise your hand. I do it because it works for me literally every single time. Every time I do that exercise, I feel bigger. And so that perspective of actually physically feeling in a tangible way, feeling bigger, is something that I find to be fantastically valuable for helping my point of view and to remind me that I am a spiritual being having a human experience and not the reverse, right? So, and I've talked about Einstein and ancient mysticism and all this, and how many philosophies throughout time have seen us as energy and not necessarily as just the physical body. So be aware, I'm not making any of this up. I'm not creating any of it. I've stolen all the material that I'm about to present to you. I've just sort of assembled it together in a way that I hope makes good sense, that can sort of take you step by step to what will ultimately be a better life for yourself. Cleaning up your perception of reality can only help you make better decisions, right? But anyway, back to seeing ourselves as an energy being of consciousness and how important point of view is. There's a sociologist, anthropologist. His name is Carlos Castaneda, and he wrote several books back in the 1970s and 80s about his encounters with the Yaqui Indians of Central America, and how, according to the Yaqui philosophy, the philosophy of the shaman especially, right, but trickled all through their society, is the idea that you are in specific what they would call a luminous egg. So this ball of light and consciousness that I've talked about, that if you are a soul, that's sort of a way that you could picture yourself, as a ball of light and consciousness. The Yaqui actually see us, as I mentioned, as a luminous egg, meaning we're a little squatter and rounder at the bottom and narrower at the top, and we're sort of all plowing around in this big energy field that is also light, right? You are light, the universe is light, everything is light, consciousness is connected to light in this way. So from the Yaqui perspective, we are this luminous egg, and on the surface of this luminous egg is a swirling eye spot, like the what do they call that? The big red spot of Jupiter, that big storm. You know, you have the nice smooth bands of the atmosphere going across, and then there's this big hurricane in the middle of it, and it's all the different colors and everything. So the Yaqui, who see us in total as a luminous egg, see also that we have in our energy field, floating on the surface of this egg, this eye spot, this big storm that they call the assemblage point. And it's the point through which all the light of the external universe comes into your field of consciousness and you begin to process it. So your assemblage point of view, right? It is literally an energy field that takes the information and filters it and adapts it based on the composition of your point of view, which again, to the Yaqui, is not just a mythical intellectual construct. Your point of view is actually this physical thing that they call the assemblage point that floats on your energy field and determines everything that you see. So again, I'm not creating any of this. I'm stealing all this material from other cultures, ancient wisdom. The stuff that we're talking about is not necessarily a secret. It might be a secret, hidden information not commonly used in Western society, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And the whole idea that you could visualize yourself as physically this luminous egg with a floating eye spot that is your point of view is a powerful image for you to use in terms of understanding how important it is to you to actually evaluate and potentially change, definitely clean, your point of view. We're going to talk more about it as we go. Have a great day. Aloha.